No doubt about it, winter has arrived, and for many of us that means finding a nice cosy spot in the garage where our best bike will sleep until the weather picks up again. And let's face it, in the UK that could be a pretty long sleep. For some people, they like to while away most of the winter months on the turbo trainer, and for some people in some parts of the world that's really the only option when everything outdoors is covered in a few feet of snow. But luckily here in the UK it's rarely cold enough for long enough that we have to abandon the winter miles outside altogether. But it does mean that it makes a lot of sense to have a dedicated winter bike. After all, you don't want all that grit wearing down your poshest kit. But if you had to pick your ultimate winter bike, what should you go for? Well, the lovely people at Giant have given us the pick of their catalogue, and they've got pretty much everything in the range. So we've each chosen a bike that we think will make the perfect winter companion. Let's take a look. I ride a road bike through the summer, so that's what I'm sticking with for the winter months as well. This is the Giant Avail AR4, and it's an alloy endurance road bike. It's got a rather more relaxed geometry, but it's still very much designed for the road, and it's got plenty of features that I look for personally in a winter bike. There's plenty of tyre clearance here, and the Avail comes fitted with 32mm tyres, and you can fit up to 40mm as well, which is brilliant for wet winter rides when the rain can wash all sorts of rubbish onto the tarmac. It's also got full mudguard mounts, which I'll definitely be utilising because there's nothing worse than a wet, cold, miserable ride without them, and not to say the fact that it's not very nice to your ride mates either. There's disc brakes on the Avail as well, which is great for those wet, cold winter rides.
Now, this is a slightly left field choice from me because usually I do ride on the road, but I've chosen Giant's Tough Road. I used to build these when I worked in a bike shop, and I know that these can be built many different ways. This one that I have here, I've spec'd with 50mm tyres. I've got a rear rack, and I've got this X-Defender front mudguard. So built like this, it can handle pretty much anything. If I want to go on a road ride, it'll do that. If I want to head off onto the gravel, it'll do that. And with this thing, I can go for quite a long time because I've got a pannier on, and in there, I've got snacks. Now then, granted, it's not the lightest bike, but when I get back on my road bike, come that warm weather in the spring, I'm going to feel like a superhero. And what I love is that not only is it set up with racks, it's got mounts for mudguards if I wanted them. Now, personally, for the type of riding that I'm doing on this bike, I've just slung an ass saver on there, and the X-Defender is going to take most of the grit away from my face. So we're pretty much sorted.
So I've gone for the bike that's probably the modern classic of winter bikes. This is a gravel bike. It is the Giant Revolt Zero. Now this is the most expensive of the three alloy Revolts that Giant do. I've gone for this one particularly because it's got the excellent GRX group set with hydraulic disc brakes, which I really like in the winter. Now around here there's a good network of roads, but also of unpaved tracks and a bit of gravel. This is a bike that allows me to take advantage of all of those different types of terrain, and it's great to be able to get away from the traffic in the winter too. Now this is a bike that's got loads of the things I look for in a winter bike. It's got good tyre clearance, it's got space for mudguards, it's got durable equipment. Giant make their own mudguards for this bike, but I've actually gone with these speed rockers. They're easy to take on and off, and for some of the types of riding I'm going to be doing on this bike, in sort of tighter single track, stuff like that, it's better not to have them on, so easier to take on and off is a good thing.
So some people spend a lot of time on the turbo over the winter, and I'm certainly one of those people. That's where I do the majority of my training rides. However, I do still like to get outside and ride on the roads, whether that be riding to work, out with friends, or just seeing the family. Now the bike I've chosen is something a little bit different to what I'm used to. It's a bit less racy. It's the Giant Escape Zero. Now this is known as your classic fast hybrid, and it's great for most types of riding. So it's a little bit more upright than what I'm used to, however it really doesn't give away that much in terms of speed. This single chainring drivetrain has plenty of range, and having no front mech on the front is one less thing to seize up under all that winter grit. Now, even though my bike is £100 less than Becker's Avail AR, this does come equipped with hydraulic disc brakes, so you can be rest assured I'll be braking late into every single corner.
With our 4 bikes set up and ready, we headed out for a loop of the Mendips, our favourite local stomping ground. There's all kinds of riding there, flats and climbs, road riding and gravel. It was great rolling along together, but it wasn't long before Liam and I were tempted over to the dark side.
Right, well I think this is where our paths diverge. I don't fancy that shortcut on this.
I do. I like gravel.
I think with these tyres I could probably manage it, but I'm going to keep you company on the road. Have some fun.
All right.
Oh,
Gravel.
thanks, Matt.
Well, we'll see you on the other side.
Enjoy!
Yeah.
You're
Race
very
you up
excited
the
about this.
Away from the roads and the traffic, Liam and I got a chance to discuss our bike choices. Both very different, but both well suited to a mix of different terrain.
Oh, well, this is nice, isn't it? It's nice to be off the road.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
nice to be away from the traffic.
Absolutely. And bikes like this, it's just so great that you can just see the trail you want and just give it a go.
Yeah, you just point and go, don't you?
Absolutely brilliant.
In fact, there are a few kind of actual single track trails out here that I quite fancy having a go at. This is why I've chosen the flat bar instead of the drop bar.
You getting on with that okay?
Yeah, I mean, I have drop bars on all of my bikes, my cyclocross bike, my road bike. I just wanted something different. It's quite a nice upright position, very comfortable. Yeah, I feel like I could churn out the miles on the road, but also tackle some more kind of challenging terrain.
Yeah. I mean, I really like this. It feels very efficient on the road. But once you get off road, yeah, it really comes alive actually.
We were going
It's got a really nice bar position here for riding around on the rough. A little bit swept back and it feels really good.
Geometry feeling good?
Yeah, all good.
Wow.
Right.
Fancy a little race?
Races at the top.
Go,
Got it. Oh, mate. The bikes may change, but some things stay the same.
Well,
I'm never going to beat you up a hill.
Honestly, that's my biggest win of the year. Right, well, to ease your woes, I have snacks.
Oh, mate.
Just think you...
And I was so disparaging
Yes,
about your
you
carrying
were.
capacity earlier.
Come on,
Oh, amazing.
dole them out.
While those two were racing for bragging rights, Matt and I were still on the tarmac, being much more civilised. Again, our bikes were very different, but both coping well with the winter miles.
So what do you think of your bike?
I'm really enjoying it actually, Matt. I think it's a far more upright position, a much more comfy position than my road bike that I'm very used to riding quite a lot of the year round really. And I'm really enjoying that aspect because I can see myself doing really long rides over the winter on something like this because it is just giving me that comfort factor. Yeah. But how about you?
Do you know what? I really do like it. I chose the bike because I stick on a drop bar bike like yourself all year round, and I thought for winter give something a little bit more upright, a little bit more comfortable, a little bit more control really, and it has ticked all the boxes. It's fast enough on the road, it's got enough grip. It is, you know, it's really comfortable. I was quite surprised. I thought it might be a little bit different from what I'm used to, but you get on it and you just start riding and you don't even notice the difference really.
And I think a lot of people are seeing the merits of flat bars now as well. Quite a few people have said to me recently that they're switching over, not necessarily the whole time, but there's definitely a place for them.
Yeah, I mean, it was a big shock to me. You know, the first ride was completely different riding from the setup you're on to this wider, almost like a mountain bike style. But the control is all there and you can get a much better handful of the brakes rather than being down low, especially for riding for the winter when you need those brakes more than ever. You do feel really safe and secure.
That's the thing, and Along with the upright position, I think for you on the flat bars, when you've got cold hands or very thick gloves,
Yeah.
it can add that element of control as well. And I've been eyeing up your single chain ring as well. Have you ridden one of those before?
Yeah, so I've never ridden a single chain ring on the road. I've ridden it a lot on the mountain bike, just because purely I've never thought that a single chain ring has enough range.
Yeah.
But this really does tick all the boxes. It's got enough high gears and there's enough on the low end that you don't really start to grind up any hills. It does struggle a little bit when you're going downhill, but for general winter riding, it's pretty much all you need.
Back to the byways, and I sensed that Dave was still smarting from his defeat on the climb. But I noticed he was leading me further and further off the beaten track. What did he have in mind?
I think I might have bitten off a bit more than I can chew here, but I mean the Tough Road is a very capable bike. You are going to be a bit undone by the lack of suspension, or a lack of riding skill in my case, but you know, still very capable. Might be walking from here though.
It's not about the bike though, Liam, is it? It's about the rider.
It's very frustrating. It's very frustrating indeed.
Whew. Oh, it's hard on the tough stuff.
Yeah, I mean even with flat bars, you get a rigid bike like this, you do know when you're getting on technical stuff, but it's amazingly capable.
I feel like I bested you on the climb there, Liam, with my technical skills.
I'm not going to live this one down, am I?
These tyres are really good actually. I mean, they're tubeless, so I'm running them quite low. They've got quite a lot of grip.
If you were, because we've ridden a bit of road, a bit of this, if you were riding just this, you would go a bit lower, but I do kind of like the firm tyre for the road still.
Yeah.
But
You've
the
lost
tread,
your advantage on the climbs there, haven't you? That's the thing.
I know. My rear wheel just like skipped out on just some of those rocks, but the tread seems to be doing okay. I mean, you can see it's staying pretty clear, and that's kind of what you want for this. It's not too aggressive for the road, but
no, and through this muddy section, you know, it's been really good, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's coping well enough. But, yeah.
Right, let's see if we can find some tarmac, shall we?
Oh, yeah, and then a cafe.
Yeah, let's crack on.
With roads and byways conquered for the day, it was time to reconvene and offer our final thoughts on our ride. Had we made the right choice? Well, we've had a great day, haven't we, out in the pretty crisp, it's fair to say, winter air. And I think it's time we headed home for a hot bath now, and maybe a cheeky Prosecco for me, maybe some beers for you guys.
I think a beer.
I'll join you on Prosecco.
Oh, nice choice, Liam, definitely Prosecco. But yeah, it's been a brilliant ride, albeit a bit chilly. How did you boys get on the gravel?
Oh, we've had so much fun. We've been doing skids and jumps, and yeah, we didn't really see many cars either, so it's nice to get away from the road a bit. But yeah, push the limits a bit on occasion,
Maybe
but
at times.
no bones were broken, so
Absolutely not.
we're all laughing.
That's always good.
Yeah, and I think what we've learned is that, you know, any bike can be a winter bike. I mean, we've got 4 different bikes here. They're all suitable for different things, but any bike can do some of the winter riding that you want to do.
So true, and I think I've been saying to you, haven't I, that I'm quite guilty of riding my best bike right the way through the winter. And I think especially with recent circumstances, I've perhaps not ridden so much in a group. I've been on my own quite a lot and not worried so much about mud splatter and mud guards, but I've been completely converted. The upright position on this, the comfort, the mud guards, namely as well, have been great. And I think you were saying similar, Matt, we might not have necessarily chosen these originally, but actually pretty converted.
Yeah, I mean, I've never ridden a flat bar bike since I was about 10 years old, and surprisingly, I really like it. Really do enjoy it. It is, you know, quite nice, quite surprising. The upright position is really comfortable, and yeah, I wouldn't fault it really for riding in the winter.
Wow, the roadie has been converted.
Yeah.
Yep.
Amazing.
Changed, man. What winter does to you?
You still got your Velotos on, mate.
Yes,
so there's
yeah.
that.
Still have race kit on, but on a hybrid.
Well, Matt, I have to say I've also been loving the flat bar like you, generally road rider, coming from a narrow bar, this wide setup. Apart from mountain biking occasionally, I never really ride this. So having that flat bar, having all that control, been doing some great technical stuff. And it's also nice and upright, it's comfortable. I have to say though, Dave was really sending it up some technical stuff, even with your drop bars.
I do love a gravel. I love a gravel bike.
Love a gravel
I do.
bike, you do.
I do. And this Revolt's been excellent. It's been really comfortable. It's quick on the road, and you know it can do some pretty serious technical stuff off it. I mean, these tyres aren't really made for like super technical things, but you know, we've been pushing the limits and we've been finding them, and it's been good fun. Absolutely. And you know, with the speed rockers on, stayed pretty dry.
I've stayed pretty dry behind you as well. It's quite good.
Sorry. Let me just stop you there. You're far too clean, the pair of you. I don't believe you at all. I think you went straight around the corner, let us do the hard road ride, and you went and had a coffee stop.
It was actually the pub.
Well, I know that's not true, but I think you've got a handy flask in that pannier with your snacks.
We might have had a snack break a few times.
A lot.
A lot. Most of the ride.
So the real question is, which bike would you go for?
Oh, I'm sticking.
Yeah.
Come on. This has been great fun.
What about you? Keeping the gravel bike?
Yeah, I think I'm going to stick. I've really enjoyed riding the Revolt. Absolutely.
I've been eyeing up the gravel bike, I'm not going to lie, but you all know I love a road bike, and yeah, the Avail ticks all the boxes, sticking.
Well, surprise, surprise, I'm actually going to stick with the flat bar hybrid. I know that's a surprise, riding a road bike 24/7, but I absolutely love it.
Well, that's our thoughts on these 4 bikes, and a big thanks to Giant, of course. Now, if you like this video, click like and subscribe for more content from road.cc, and let us know what bikes you're choosing to ride throughout this winter in the comments section. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.